and welcome to How Not to Adventure, the excellent Dungeons & Dragons story, in which we definitely didn't play our last episode 2 months ago, and Doug and Chris are definitely not talking over me while I do this intro to try and put me off. Hi, welcome back everyone. Here we are, ready for a magical adventure of the highest integrity and competence. Thankfully, we've got Chris as our Dungeon Master to tell us exactly what was happening all those months ago. Chris, first of all, how are you today, sir? And also, tell us the story.
I'm absolutely fine. So, story-wise, when last we left off, there was a phone ringing in the background and a Coke can being opened.
Oh, I muted the Coke can. No one else heard that apart from you.
Dang it. So, yes, when last we left off, Dalton Sebastian Belvedere Grey had entered a cave. Oh my fucking god, what is up with all these Coke cans? Hang on, let me go find a Coke can. Had entered a cave system, kind of invited himself into this cave system to undertake an investigation of cocaine. No, not cocaine. Undertaking an investigation of the trafficking of weapons that the group discovered a few sessions before.
Yes.
He managed to trick his way in by pretending to be an inspector for the local mayor, or at least for the bad guy, as it were.
Yes.
Yes, as Jim Speckler, the obtrusive little bastard.
Jim Speckler
that has somehow gone from
evil. That's all everyone needs to know. Jim Speckler is a bad person, and I don't like him.
The throwaway character I introduced right at the beginning has suddenly become the main villain of the campaign.
Oh yeah.
In a nutshell, ladies and gents.
Don't we have a cannon?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we do have a cannon.
You did manage to find a cannon. I had to write up specs for that.
It's all coming back to me now.
Yeah. So far, Brother Malk and what was your last name, Doug? It's on the stream, is it not?
Yes.
Nagash Galthran is currently out in the forest that surrounds this cave. They were dealing with the guards, as it were. However, I believe poor Brother Malk has decided once again to lie down in the tall grass and try and hide for an entire session.
Brother Malk is trying to convince not only the world around him, but also himself, that if he meditates hard enough, he will become a rock on the ground.
I'm feeling that Brother Malk's going with the, if he stands very, very still, he will not be able to be seen.
And if I can't see them, they can't see me, surely.
I mean, that is essentially how his combat tactics go. Lies down, lets the enemy run past, continues lying down. Okay, so with the date upped, shall we begin the session?
Yes.
Dalton Sebastian Belvedere Grey, where last you were sat in an office of the foreman, I believe reading some papers.
Yes. 2 months ago, I started reading these papers, so I'm hoping that, given the time to study and to really root around the office and have a proper look around, I'm going to be able to roll again to remind myself what I was looking at. Perhaps with advantage.
Going to be a natural 20. Yeah. Yes, if you want to roll that. Oh, and by the way, you have not put up the dice roll screen.
Well, don't worry, sir, because I was about to click this very button to reveal all of my test rolls from a moment ago to make sure the system was working. Anyway, so
fantastic.
Here are my 2 dice rolls with advantage, as I gave myself advantage. So I got 17.
Excellent. Gave yourself advantage. You fuck. Just you be the GM. Fuck it. I'm going to go and sit in the fucking bath.
I don't want to be the GM.
Yeah, no one wants to be the GM. That's why I got to do it. So you've been reading this bloody clipboard now for the last month and a half.
The poor guard is suspicious.
The guard's getting a bit worried. He feels that you might have turned to stone whilst you've been sat there. He keeps leaving and coming back every now and again, leaving a small plate of cheese and biscuits or some other small delicacy to keep you going. They appear to be disappearing every now and again, but not regularly enough that he thinks you are actually alive. That might just be the mice.
It probably is. This place is filthy. It's infested.
So, as you may recall, the cave system that you are currently in was artificially dug out by the local brutes, the people that have been using it, to contain a vast production line of indentured kobolds who are being forced to produce arms and armor. The paperwork that you're currently reading basically lets you know sort of how often they are producing these products, how often, how many pieces are being made a month, and how many corpses they have to sort of put under or burn away as the slaves sort of expire.
What sort of numbers are we talking then? How many people die down here a month?
Well, on
Slaving
average, the production is losing approximately 100 kobolds a week.
Holy shit! Where are they getting all these kobolds? Is there some kind of kobold farm just down the road they can get them from? Can I find documentation on there being a kobold farm? Is that?
Well, you have within the pamphlet of documentation you've got. There is some reference to the other sites. Obviously, you already inspected one of the villages, or one of the staging posts, where you found the cannon a few sessions ago. I was about to say a few seasons ago. That's what it feels like. It was the beginning of summer.
It really was.
When last we fought, it was the beginning of summer. And more recently, obviously, there was the third location that you haven't actually visited yet.
The clearing.
Yes, the clearing. But obviously, this documentation, it seems to reference a number of locations, some of which you've seen on the other paperwork. You picked up from the camp, from near the waterfall. And like, there's a few that kind of like, oh, there's 100 of something coming, or 1,000 of this coming. You're not entirely sure what it is based on the language being used. They're kind of using a cipher for themselves, but you recognize the numbers at least.
So they're using a cipher. So my question was going to be: are there any names, or on like say are there any papers giving direct orders? Say, hey, guard number 1. Please prepare 1,000,000 weapons for the upcoming attack on Greenroot, signed your overlord Jim Speckler. There's nothing like that, for example.
No, there doesn't appear to be anything that's directly referencing a person. It's all it's more office-style documentation. It's not a lot of... there's a lot of like just tablets and columns and columns of numbers. Who the fuck is eating their microphone? For the love of God!
That was Doug. Obviously,
it fell over.
Christ.
Did you lean on it? But yes, so it's mostly tabletized numbering. Obviously, the guard gave you this packet of information. Any private mail has been kept private.
I mean, are there any drawers that appear locked or anything in the room I'm in? Is there a desk, by the way, or is it just literally like a hole? And I'm just like,
it's kind of a rudimentary,
sir.
It's kind of a rudimentary office. It's like crates that have been stacked with a board put over the top to act as a table. It's not particularly roomy. It looks more like it's a office of necessity rather than one made for comfort.
Yes. Sense. Right, I should probably figure out what I'm going to do then, eh? That would be sensible.
Also, just noticed the this is going to be real silly now, but the name on your on our front page, Dalton Sebastian Belvedere Grey.
Oh, yes. Belvedere. Yes. Well, that's his new name. So I'll fix that for next time. Belvedere.
We've done 12 sessions with these characters and we've never noticed.
Well, to be fair, you guys don't tend to look at the live page.
I am watching the people watching the stream slowly die off.
Well, that's fine. Don't worry about that.
Of course not.
Those who want to hang around will hang around. It's not everyone's cup of tea, is it now? Come on now, D&D.
True enough.
It's for the family. I'm just looking
especially after just watching a stream of cars crashing into each other.
Yes. Everybody come check out twitch.tv/We Fought Androids for Car Crash Mayhem. I'm just
followed immediately by fantasy.
I'm just looking through my notes to see if I wrote anything down obvious to trigger my memory. And so far, all I've seen is a memory that I've got Datcher the orphan boy who is attempting to steal a key for Jim Speckler's house.
Yep.
Also, we met, or rather, Nagash met the kobold leader previously, and I've written down his name as Ovary Greyballs. So, seems accurate. And that Jim Speckler is the baddie written about 5 times. As if I could possibly forget. Okay. So, right. Back in the main area, if I glance down the corridor,
yes.
How many guards are there watching the slaves? And how are the slaves kept as well? Are they shackled to their desks or workstations?
More or less. It's along the lines of a large. If you imagine a large amphitheater, the sort of central area where the poor people would stand at the Globe, for instance, is all workstations in rows, and each of the rows is making something different. Kind of like Santa's toy factory.
Hey.
Each of the kobolds is chained by their ankle to the station they're at, and in the upper gantry, looking down into that amphitheater, are guards. They're kind of patrolling. There's a couple of guards here and there patrolling in the main area as well. And every now and again, one will call attention to someone in the court, someone out of your direct line of sight who comes in, unclasps a kobold, drags them out, and pulls in a fresh one.
The ones being dragged out, are they dead or are they being rotated out for?
You can't tell from here.
Right. I think I need to start some kind of uprising, if I'm honest. It seems like the only possible thing to do.
Well, I mean, Mr. Nagash is currently stood outside.
Yeah, have the stories of the thing living in the jungle for the last few months filtered in. Like the Predator style thing that's been killing the guards.
Picking people off one by one.
Yeah. You say the Predator thing that's been picking off guards one by one. What you actually mean is the skeleton that's been sat in a bush.
With a cannon.
looking like it's recently been hit by the Predator.
No. I like to think he's an expert in guerrilla warfare by now.
Well, he has had quite a few months of practice, it's got to be said.
It's like got a strip of his robe tied around his head.
He's covered himself in mud.
Yeah. It's like Rambo or something.
Arnie from Predator or something.
That's like Rambo from something. Rambo from Rambo? I mean, don't quote me on that. I might be wrong.
But even so, a skeleton in the jungle. Pretty scary.
There's actually a fantastic film that's kind of like that, funnily enough. I'll see if I can find it again and send it to you. You'd love it.
I see.
But yes, sorry, getting distracted there. No word has not filtered in of the mighty skeleton that is...
Skeletor.
that is sending fear throughout the all 6 guards that stood outside, along with the massive bees that keeps approaching. They're more worried about the bees, to be honest with you. They've heard lots of stories about aggressive bees.
Well, I don't know what. I'm not sure I could really take 6 guards on my own.
If I remember correctly, last time you were playing with the guards, you you were planning to draw them off one by one and
That's true.
shank a bitch. Although that was between you and Brother Malk.
Yeah. Okay, well, I may as well continue doing that till I get some sort of sign from inside.
Okay. What, just sitting around and waiting?
Well, I'll try and I'll attempt to lure a guard.
Okie dokie. Excuse me. How would you like to lure this guard?
Hmm.
By setting up the cannon, shooting him in the fucking face.
No, I feel like the cannon's a bit too obvious.
Kinda. Well, this is riveting.
I'm gonna just start. No, that'll draw. I'll creep around to near one of the guards and throw a rock.
Okie dokie.
Well,
Would you roll me a stealth check, please?
If you figure out how to fire the cannon remotely, then you can just be on the other side of the jungle, almost aiming.
Remotely?
Yeah, you use some magic. Come on, or a long piece of string. Up to you.
I didn't realise there were like those turret
turrets,
things on
yeah.
aliens.
Yeah, they're basically it's a turret. I want you to turn it into a turret using magic, and then
Just got like a countdown of how many rounds it's got left.
and then
I don't remember how many guys you picked up, or how many you picked up actually.
I think we took. Oh no, hang on.
I can't remember. I
I've
never
got-
wrote it down.
No, apparently neither did I.
I've got the number 3 rounds written down, but I don't know.
Oh, that sounds about right because they were quite heavy, if I remember correctly.
They were 260 grams per round, apparently.
Were they? I've got 1 kilo, but
Well, whatever. That's a bag of sugar. You don't want to carry too many bags of sugar around, do you?
no. Let's say you got. That makes it nice.
So they fired 1, I think. So that means these
I
guys.
don't think they fired any.
Oh, okay. So they fired none. I mean,
Yeah.
don't do myself out of shots. So yeah, if you cause a distraction up there,
17.
Excellent. A lovely stealth roll. Cool. So you managed to sneak up through the underbrush towards one of the guards. He's stood in the clearing that is surrounding the entrance to the cave. He's just kind of, lazily like just watching into the jungle. He's not exactly alert. Just,
Actually,
trained it.
I could guess magic doesn't make noise, or does it?
Depends on the effect, I would assume. Like if it's if it's an explosion, I would guess that makes a rather lot of noise.
I don't really have any explosion-y things. Mine are all just like...
Nagash doesn't really have many things that you can use other than hiding under tables, really, as it turns out.
Shh!
So,
Don't remind him, he might do it again.
I've crafted a table out of a fallen tree, and I'm now hiding under it quite craftily.
For the love of fuck.
I'm gonna just rare sickness the guy. Sod it.
What the hell? What the hell? I just got put into a different room. Sorry, I'm in a completely different, I'm in a completely different roles lobby.
You want to rejoin?
Yeah, that's weird.
Oh yeah, I can see that you've left. Potion seller.
Hang on a second, I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Don't worry, I'll play some totally authentic music to make sure no one noticed that anything was going on, such as this.
Well, none of the people watching.
Such as this 80s music. So this is theme appropriate, I think you'll find.
Oh, nice. Am I back?
Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
Okay. That was real weird.
See, that was the
I think it's because
interlude.
I had I changed my nickname. I think it was just like it changed my nickname, and because someone else was already using it, I got thrown into another room.
Oh.
Weird. Anyway, so sorry, Doug. What were you doing? What was this roll for?
I'm Ray of Sicknessing the guy.
Okie dokie. 2 seconds. Yes. So your ray of sickness causes him to. Well, do you want to roll for damage?
Nine.
Oh, mighty. So your ray of sickness hits the gentleman as he's stood minding his own business out in the jungle. Very quickly, he starts to, shudder from coughs, and all the other guards kind of look on and see that this guard's having a bit of trouble breathing. His face has gone bright red. He collapses onto the floor. The next nearest guard runs over. He does not notice that you are there, and it's just kind of like checking his buddy. So he's wondering what's happened. The sudden onset of spontaneous coughing in the jungle. Not really all that unusual, to be fair.
He's got jungle fever.
Yeah, might have been stung by a bee.
He has to make a Constitution saving throw.
I mean, as I'm making up his stats on the spot. He fails.
He fails. Oh no. Him.
He is therefore poisoned.
Well, I mean, he's already lying on the floor, coughing and seemingly choking to death.
He's not having a good time. He's had bad days. That's what you got to think about it.
Well, he also has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks.
Okay. So, what else would you like to do right now, Doug? So you've poisoned a gentleman who is currently lying on the floor, coughing and choking out his last. His friend has run over to help him, crying out his name in anguish as he watches his friend suffocate in front of him, turning blue.
That'll do me for the moment.
Okay.
Oh, good.
So the stricken guard and his friend, like, crying over him, shouting his name to the heavens. He calls over one of the other guards, and they pick him up and carry him inside between the two of them.
Is this a sort of disease that's likely to spread? A chance?
They carry the corpse past you, Dalton. You suddenly feel ill.
Oh no! Well, this is a disaster. Right.
That's
well, I was kind of hoping that old googly pants here would cause sorry for the beeps and pings, everybody. Would cause a wicked distraction, and thus I would use this opportunity to unshackle some people or kobolds, and we would cause a rebellion stuff. But unfortunately, he's done nothing of use.
Dalton reaches out using the force, and I just get the feeling that that's what he wants me to do.
Yeah. You think to yourself, oh, he's been down there a long time. He might need a distraction and some help.
So, I swing back round to the cannon and
Okay.
fire the cannon at another guard.
Okay.
I don't know how you do that.
Maybe you should have figured that out before you said you were going to fire it.
I pull the trigger, I guess.
Okay.
Cannons have triggers, right?
It's probably more of a fuse at this point, surely, in this, right?
Well, I mean, it is a magical cannon. It's it's essentially what Dalton's been using on the war pole, but scaled up.
I beg your pardon?
Right. So what do you want me to roll?
Well, it's going to be a D20, clearly, at one of the other guards. I'll tell you what the additive is when you've rolled. Because at the moment, you don't know how this weapon
18!
works. Awesome.
I did spend a lot of time studying it, though.
You spent a bit of time standing next to it. I don't know that studying counts as... standing counts as studying. Right, so you have hit the cultist. I would like you... Here, let me find the... I would like you to roll 5d10, please.
Jesus Christ.
5d10. This has been fired at
33.
So the magical bolt of energy launches out of the cannon like some form of cannonball being fired from a cannon.
My God.
Yeah.
He's figured it out.
A massive blue bolt that basically turns the entire clearing blue with its blue light of blueness, and strikes the
Doug, is it me or is his descriptions getting a little bit shit?
Shh, it's been a long day. It strikes the sentry squarely in the chest, and in fact passes through his chest, simultaneously turning him into like 4 meat popsicles and a small head that are going in different directions from each other. His torso is entirely removed from existence. The bolt continues on, careening quite happily and oddly silently out into the jungle.
Well, that was pretty good.
After a few minutes, or after a few moments even, you hear an almighty crash and feel a wave of air rushing past you as it lands.
I see. Well, that was a good first test shot. Nagash thinks to himself.
All of the other cultists, all of the other sentries. I happen to have the cultist up at the moment in my monster manual. I'm spearing through. All of the other sentries are immediately alerted to the fact that a big blue fuck off bolt of energy just flew out of a random ass bush, and also the fact that most of the bush surrounding the cannon is now on fire.
When you say all, I assume you mean the two.
Yeah, both of them.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna sort of retreat into a nearby bush so I can see the cannon and wait for them to come.
He tries not to trip.
Yeah.
Over
so yes, in fact, if you would, no, it's fine. So one of the guards, the two guards, kind of group together, but not so close that they could be that they feel like they might both get hit by anything that's coming out of the tree. They kind of share a little conversation that you can't hear, you're too far away. And one of them sprints towards the cave and seems to be calling ahead, shouting for help, and generally raising the alarm.
Excellent.
The other guard is moving towards the cave entrance as well, but instead of like jumping into the there is man currently lying down in a bush somewhere.
I'm listening. I'm not just making things appear on the stream. I swear.
Yeah, of course not. Instead of diving down into the cave, he's kind of just gone into the entrance. You can see him sort of prepared to fight off any interlopers. He's eyeing the jungle, looking at the fiery spot, and really trying to discern what's in there. Clearly, he doesn't want to leave without too much backup.
I see. Well, in that case, I'm going to reload the cannon.
Makes sense.
Yeah. That's cool. I would like you to perform a check to do. Oh, this isn't fucking Dark Heresy. Sorry, I'm trying to think what stats I can make you look at. Shit. 2 seconds. I want you to do a test, but I can't think what tests to make you do. There's a character sheet somewhere.
I mean, if anything, it's going to be insight. No, what is he doing? I wasn't listening.
No, I guess that. That'll do. Yes. Name is T. Sorry, I'm really quickly making a level 1 character just so I can see what checks I can make you do. God, none of these work. Let's have you do
acrobatics, surely.
Yeah, acrobatics. Let's make you do 2 checks. So, the first check I would like you to do is a investigation check to ensure that you've cleared the cannon correctly. So it's in a state where it could fire again, i.e., it's not damaged in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, that's definitely acrobatics.
Yeah, that's
11.
11. Cool. You can see that there's no obvious damage. Like the tube hasn't cracked. The firing mechanism appears to be back in place. It's not fallen off or anything. The wheels aren't broken or anything along those lines. And a sleight of hand test to rearm the cannon, please.
Oh.
17.
Okay. So you skillfully open up the hopper on the back of the cannon, placing another of the large magic stones inside, closing it all up, and resetting the cannon for fire.
Okay. What's Dalton doing?
Yes, Dalton, what are you doing?
Okay, how many guards have left the vicinity of where I am then?
Currently none. Although as you stand in the office, still reading your lovely booklets, you can hear a commotion coming from the top. From what you, in fact, let's make you do a perception check, please.
18.
Cool. So, from what you can pick up from the rather, to be fair, rather loud conversation going on at the other end of the hallway you're in, you can hear the guards talking about how it seems to be relatively upsetting outside. Someone's friend has just died. There's a very loud calamity, and a gentleman is screaming about how everything turned blue. That's all he can see. Dabba dee, dabba die.
But did I hear a clear cannon sound? What I would assume to be a cannon.
You have not
heard
the cannon sound. What you did hear, however, no, they're being told about the big blue bolt. They didn't hear any cannon shot on the basis that it hasn't made a sound. The only sound that was heard was when it landed, when the round landed again.
Of course.
Yeah. So the group the guards around you are sort of gathering any equipment they can and rushing towards the exit. You estimate, based on the amount of footfall you can hear, that was like roughly half of the guards have left.
Okay. Right. I reckon. Is the guard I've been speaking to around, or is he off?
He's still with you, but he's looking very uneasy. He's not uneasy with you. It's just that kind of like, things are happening. Should I be doing something? Should I stay here?
All right, I'm going to talk to him.
Okay.
Did we know his name? I'm sure.
Guard A, I think was his name.
Guard A, right? Okay. What is all this commotion? I'm hearing talk of blue and people falling ill. You better have this ship under control, sailor.
To be honest with you, sir, I don't know what's going on. The guys are saying that we're under attack.
We're under attack, and you're standing here like a blithering idiot, not going up to check for yourself, not getting reports immediately. Why are you not taking action?
I'm just a sentry, sir. I'm not a man of action. I'm a man of being told what to do.
Well, I'm going to tell you what to do. If we're under attack, or if there's a plague coming, or if a jumbo jet, you'll figure out what those are in a few years, are going to come to land on our bloody head, then you better take some more men up there and figure it out and protect the goods down here, because that's more important than you or me. So get your ass up to the top and figure out what's going on. Now move it. And I'm going to roll.
Would you roll me a persuasion check, please?
Yes, please.
Oh. The guard seems quite happy that someone's taking command. His poor mental capacity is not suited for making executive decisions. So having someone tell him what to do kind of makes him feel better. He immediately, more or less, bows to you as he leaves the room, shouts down the hallway to a couple more guards, and a few more trot along towards the exit. Yeah, that's.
So how many guards? I'm surveying the area again. What am I seeing now?
Well, heading back to the atrium, you can see that there's 2 guards down on the bottom floor. Again, they're looking pretty worried about what's happening, but at the same time, they're very obviously unlikely to leave their post. They appear to be purely there to make sure that the hired help remain hired help.
But are they the only 2 left? Sorry,
They're the only 2 you can see.
Right.
So am I seeing these guards come up to the cave entrance?
Yeah, whilst Dalton is investigating still and shouting at poor sentries who just do an honest day's work, honestly. Up towards the surface, you can see that the lone sentry that was left is steadily being joined by a small contingent of guards. Would you roll a perception check for me, Douglas?
I will. Perception. Oh, yeah. We'll go.
That come up? I
haven't seen
No.
that. Oh, right, okay.
Ah.
4.
Well, you can certainly see that there's quite a few guards there.
I fire the cannon. 8 directly at the cave entrance. Well, probably not with an 8, but that's what I was aiming for anyway.
Well, funnily enough, thanks to the accuracy of the Cobalt construction, the cannonball more or less hits true. In spectacular fashion, again, a silent bolt of blue energy flies across the open expanse from your little bush. One of the guards see it coming. They are they're obviously not particularly happy about it, but then they don't actually have time to get out of the way.
It's one of those comical moments where they kind of turn to look at what's coming at them, and they go, "Ah, drats," and then.
Yep. Nope. Hang on 2 seconds. Let me just write this out. So he got that. Okay, so from where you're standing, you basically watch one of the guards catch the bolt directly in the face. It enters through one nostril and out the back of his head, passing through a number of other guardsmen as they stand there. In fact, the gentleman that managed to catch it was the original sentry. He's already seen it once, and now he's seen it up close. However, at the back of the group, you see one of the guards roll backwards just as the blue bolt is about to hit him, narrowly avoiding the flying death beam. However, as it hits the wall of the cave behind him, it shatters and explodes. The cave seems to funnel the blue energy both out of the door and further down the cave system, sending a huge shockwave all throughout the cave and royally ruining everything. Where Dalton stands, there's a vibration through the earth that feels almost like an earthquake. Dust and rocks fall from the ceiling, and he dies. No, joking. That's not a thing that happens. But dust and pebbles fall from the ceiling, plinking off his armor. You can hear the sound of earth moving. It is not a pleasant sound. And all of the guards in the doorway. If you'd like to roll me some damage dice, Doug. I don't have very high hopes for them.
Oh.
Yeah. It's not quite as good as last time, but all of the guards in the doorway are immediately turned to ash. And I'd also like you, Doug, to roll a dodge for me.
A dodge?
A dodge. As the funneling of the blast wave by the entrance to the cave sends a massive wave of energy and power basically straight back in your direction.
Is that athletics check, you mean? Or acrobatics?
Yes, acrobatics. Cool. So you just managed to avoid the massive wave of blue energy as it sears across the clearing. Clearly you managed to spot it as it was coming. However, the cannon was not so lucky. Clearly, because it can't move. It's caught directly in the blast, although you're too busy rolling to see what happens to it at the moment. So,
well,
what do, fellas?
So the cannon broke.
I haven't said anything.
You've got to inspect it, surely.
Well, I'll inspect the cannon.
No?
Okay. Sorry, 2 seconds.
Oh, I see what you did.
That's not a roll, Douglas.
I know. 21.
So you go and inspect the cannon. It is certainly cannon-like. However, you notice that the end of the barrel is well and truly melted. It appears to have sealed itself along the front. It's in fact no, it's kind of bananaed open, to be fair. think Bugs Bunny sticking a finger down Elmer Fudd's tube. No one? No one's going to jump on that? Okay.
Nope.
Now, I do have the spell Mending.
Okay.
As long as the break is no larger than 1 foot in any dimension, you mend it, leaving no trace of former damage.
Okay. What does it say you have to roll?
It's a cantrip. I don't have to roll at all.
Seems like a pretty useful cantrip.
That does seem like a pretty useful cantrip.
I don't know if you could. It's.
Hang on. Does it work for magical items? I have a feeling that it doesn't.
It says the spell can physically repair a magic item, but the spell can't restore magic to an object.
Ah, right.
Ah, well, now we just need to decide.
Yeah, I just need to decide whether I'll let you do it or not.
Sod the cannon. I just stroll up to the entrance amongst the dead.
Oh,
I mean, if you want to try, I'll let you do it.
Well, we do know.
I might just make you roll a test for it.
Yeah, but all right, fine.
Because I mean, you're repairing pretty interesting machinery.
Like an arcana check or something.
Yes, just to see if you. I'll let you do it with advantage as well, considering you have been using it for the last few minutes. Oh, for fuck's sake!
Fuck the cannon.
Well, you poke your finger to the cannon, and it starts to mend itself. It's not a complete fix. The barrel starts to seal up again as it was meant to, but there still appears to be hairline cracks. Maybe if you try again another time, it may finish the repair.
Maybe we can.
When you're a bit more used to it.
Fix it after this fight goes down.
Should we just say if I roll under a 5 to fire it, it'll explode or something?
Yes. What I'm going to say.
Well, this is the end of Nagash.
Yeah, this is the end of Nagash. No, I'm going to take the accuracy off it. So it no longer has any plus to hit. It'll all be based on your roll. And if you miss too badly, well, things ain't going to go well.
I see. Okay. What's Dalton doing?
So after this near cave collapse, the two guards have any more guards shown themselves to me, and B, what are these two doing again? They still just literally watching?
Just stood absolutely still.
Yeah. Are they showing no emotion? Are they not mannequins holding weapons?
In the wake of the crash, the kobolds are essentially trying to run riot. They're trying to escape from their confines, but obviously all of them are still pretty much shackled to their desks. And the guards just going around sort of beating them on the back of the head with big sticks to get them to sit back down, calling for order, and generally trying to keep things pretty on fleek.
Right. Okay.
However, obviously, it's not always working. A few of the poor little kobolds are getting back in line and sitting back down and returning to their work, or at least just kind of looking around as if they weren't completely trapped in their situation. But more of them are getting back up, and no matter how many times they're getting beaten, every now and again you see one of them get beaten and then not come back up at all.
Okay. Okay, first of all, what I'd like to do is I want to grab a couple of important looking papers that I've seen and been looking at for evidence, and I want to shove them in my pants or in my backpack, which I assume I have near me somewhere.
On your back?
Probably on my back. Yeah, seems likely. Although I'm not going to.
I mean, after the last few months, it might just be a small pile of rot in the corner.
Yeah. the guards have been slowly replenishing all of my supplies as well, so they're all fresh and up to date. So I'm not going to get food poisoning or anything. Right. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, am I still on the the ledge above them, or was I ever? I can't remember.
I mean, you've gone out. You're currently stood on like the part of the upper ledge. As obviously you don't want to put your slaves next to your bosses.
No. Right. I'm going to try and convince these two that we're being overrun upstairs because due to noises and all sorts. And I get up there as well, or we're all slaughtered. Okay, so I'm literally going to do that right now. You two, stop faffing around with the unimportant scum. We're being overrun up here. Get up there and help out before we're all doomed and all is lost. Christ. If we lose this because of you, and you survive, or so help me God, I'm going to have you strung, drawn, quartered, chopped into tiny bits, fed to sharks, obliterated. You're going to be tortured like there's nobody's business. Get up there and save the day. For Christ's sake. And
Would you roll me a deception check with advantage, please?
Oh, for Christ. Oh, fuck.
Okay.
They seem unconvinced, I imagine.
They are relatively unconvinced. They're less. It's not so much that they're convinced. I mean, they're pretty sure that shit's going down up there. They have heard the earthquake and all of the explosions. On the other hand, they're less convinced about who you are.
Right. Well, I'm just going to have to kill them then.
Yeah, unlike the idiot who showed you in, these guys are a bit more. He doesn't look like anyone we know. I'm pretty sure we know all the bosses. We've spoken to most of them. And
right. Well, I'm going to attempt to keep the facade up.
No, from now on, you are facade.
I am facade.
You're gonna be facade after this fight.
Sorry. Are you standing there? Are you disobeying direct orders? Do you know what happens to people who disobey my orders? Well, they won't tell you themselves because A, they had their tongues cut out. B, they're also dead, which is exactly what's going to happen to you. And I just draw my sword because I'm going to fuck some. Oh, no, wait. I have a quarterstaff cannon, don't I?
You just now remembered that.
I'm just going to use my cannon instead. My hand cannon.
Cool.
However, I do need to very quickly find the specs for it in our chat because it's been a while since I used it.
Do you want me to send it back? Send it to you again.
Oh, wait, is it in our private one? Is that why I can't see it?
Yes. It should be in our private one. Ooh. There you go.
Ah, perfect. Ranged weapon +4 to hit.
In fact, there's the stats for the whole weapon.
Okay. So +4 to hit. 30. Well, I assume they're within range.
Yes. Yeah.
Perfect. It's one target at a time. And then the hit ratio is 1d8 +2. So it's a d20 +4. That's perfect. Yeah. Okay. And I'm gonna lay. Who's the one who's looking the most doubtful? Because that's.
I mean, they're both pretty doubtful. Hang on a second.
I'm gonna fire right at their chops. Right in actually, aim for the chest. Always aim for the chest. Makes sense.
Okie dokie. So as you've leveled your weapon at them, they're gathering their equipment, or they're drawing their swords as well, and coming back towards you.
I hope at this point some kobolds pounce on them as well.
If you would roll initiative for me.
Oh wait, that wasn't my initiative. Hold on. That's my attack. I'm keeping that. That's good.
Yep, that's fine.
My initiative is 13.
Cool. Thankfully, you do get to go first, which is gratefully helpful.
That's very convenient.
Obviously, you have the element of surprise anyway. So you've hit one of the guards.
Which is 8 +2 7 damage.
Cool. So you've hit a guard squarely in the chest. It clearly hurts him quite badly. But a lot of the immediate shock seems to have been absorbed by his armor.
Should have aimed for his dumb face.
He's been knocked back a fair bit by the hit, kind of blasted him backwards, and he's got back up again, or he's getting back up again anyway.
Again, at this point, I hope that a kobold will, jump on him and,
We'll see.
fuck him up. Fuck him up, kobold. Fuck him up.
In response, the other. Where's my list? There we go. Okay. God, this is my first roll on the. There you go. He throws his axe at you
Well,
and proceeds to watch it plink off your armor.
yeah. That's not
The other guard.
That's not going to intimidate me.
The other guard attempts to get up. As he does, a nearby kobold attempts to jump on top of him and push him back down. And the guard is he's caught by the kobold, but he just kind of pushes it away. He's not quite able to get to his feet yet, but he's sort of on his way up. He's unencumbered by that kobold that tried to jump him.
Good
And
enough.
Dalton, it is your turn again.
I assume I can fire again.
You'd have to reload first.
Is that a full turn?
I'm going to call it a half action.
Okay. Do I have to do anything to reload?
Reload,
Okay.
preferably.
I don't have to roll. Is basically what I'm asking.
Actually, yeah. As it's quite a, it's a new thing. You've not used it before in combat. I'm going to ask for a sleight of hand test.
But I do know how it all works because I figured that out previously.
You know how it works. You've just never had to do it before.
That's fine. I don't want
Under stress.
I don't want like super disadvantage or anything. Is basically what I mean.
No. Yeah. So whilst it's not the best reload you've ever done, when you've been practicing, you've managed to get it quicker. Obviously, you've been kind of like dropping. You've gone into your pocket and dropped a few of the rocks on the floor. You found one eventually, put it into the container and closed it up, and it's taken you a fair whack to get it done. So for the sake of this fight, that's taken you a full action to complete the reload.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So a guard that threw his axe at you rushes towards you, drawing his mighty sword, and he goes for a whappy slappy at your chest, which proceeds to once again. Well, actually, this time it just whiffs through the air past his face without any
He's trying to intimidate me.
risk of hitting you.
He's still a few steps off, and he's just like swinging his sword wildly at me as if to intimidate me. And I'm like,
Yeah.
whatever,
He's clearly not a particularly good fighter. He's just kind of like winging a sword in the air around you.
I laugh at him and say, "Have you ever even used that before, boy? Idiot! You're in trouble, sir."
The other guard again tries to jump up as a kobold jumps on top of him, and once again thrusts the kobold away, giving the little like dog dragon man thing a swift punch to the dick. Whilst he does to get it off him, or maybe get him off. I don't know, one of the two.
Right in the kobold testicles.
Yep. And again, Dalton, it is your turn. However, you now have a man fighting you.
Well, obviously, I'm going to have to not fire my cannon because he's within 30 feet, so that's not going to be particularly helpful. So I guess I'll switch to using it as a martial weapon instead, which is +2 to my hit, or +4 in down.
Yeah. It should be +2, but
That's fine. I can use that.
I mean, it's also got your bonuses added to it as well. Don't forget that.
Oh yeah, shit. So it's actually 6 total. Fine. All right, cool.
In fact, the one I gave you is like how it's fired from a kobold, so it should be your bonuses to hit anyway.
Oh yeah. How do I know my ranged like abilities?
It should be your dexterity.
Okay.
Your dexterity modifier.
So that's 0 technically. So
So from now on, you won't get a modifier when you fire it.
that messed up. That's a shame.
Yeah.
But I can still get my plus strength.
Yes. Yeah.
So 6 total. Yeah, or is it just 4?
No, before.
Yeah. Cool. So here we go again. Bish bash bosh 17. This is me
Cool.
just using as a two-handed weapon.
Yep. Basically, it's a club
Yeah, pretty much.
with a sharp bit on it.
Yeah.
Cool. So it's 1d8.
Plus.
Again,
5.
that'll be plus your strength thing.
Which is 2.
Is it?
Just
Sure.
yeah. Him saving for. Oh wait, hang on. Where am I? God, it's been a while since. Attack
So you should
bonus.
have
Oh, no, my
your
attack bonus-
proficiency. You have a proficiency, and then you've got your attack bonus,
Well, my attack bonus is 4.
right?
And then. Okay, so say we were. And then proficiency bonus at 2 is +2. Up top.
We've done so many rolls wrong. Well, at least we've done all this fight wrong.
Oh,
Good God.
that's fucking awful.
That's fine. We'll remember it next time.
Yeah.
Maybe. If we don't take another month and a half to play the damn game. It has been...
Well, anyway, so I'm right.
Yeah.
We're saying 5.
Yeah, fuck it. 5 will do. It doesn't help that I
You've
managed
left.
to...
You left it. Oh, no, you're back again.
That was interesting. It doesn't help that I've been playing a different game with a completely different method of like working out how things hit or not. All right, where was I? So yes, you've hit the bastard, and you've hurt him real good. Not quite as good as the other guy,
Nope.
but you've hurt him real good.
Cool.
That much left. That's that much left. So the fella that you're whapping with attempts to whap you back, and I believe that whap is enough to whap you.
It's not actually.
Is it not?
No, my armor class is 19.
Good God.
Yeah.
He makes a good go of it, though.
He
It puts a
tries
nice
real
chink in your
hard.
armor.
Tries real hard. But no, 19. So, thanks.
Meanwhile, his friend attempts to stand up again. Could this guy get up, for the love of God? He kicks a small kobold that jumps on him, but it's kind of like holding him down now.
It's on his leg. He can't shake it off. Like,
Yeah.
Get off.
You smell, you little shit. Dalton, it is your turn again.
Well, I'll do exactly the same. I'll go for a big wallop.
Cool.
Which is 11.
So that should be your proficiency, so I believe that should be the +2.
Oh, right. Okay, hang on.
So it should be its proficiency to hit. It's the strength bonus on the damage.
They're both 2. Right, hang on. I'm just typing it. Hang on. D0 I tried to roll there.
Nice, good work.
So that is... Oh, that's a miss.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Your mighty poleaxe whiffs through the air. In fact, hang on a minute.
Shut up.
That's a natural one.
No, it's not. No, that's it.
Oh, that +2. So you you swing your mighty poleaxe, and as you do, one of the kobolds believes that you're actually coming to try and execute them all, as you're using one of the very weapons that they've been building. He grabs you by the waist causing you to sort of
Wait, where was
fling the poleaxe.
Where was this kobold a second ago? Did it run up?
I mean, up to now, they've been kind of like just trying to avoid the fight, but he's like,
I
hang
didn't
on a
realize
minute.
I was so close to them myself. I thought I was firing. I thought I was away from the fight. Okay, fair. They're away from.
I mean, you've gone down into the. I'd assumed you've gone down into the amphitheater to fight these two guards that were down in the amphitheater.
No. I didn't go down. I fired at them, and then one of them came up to me. That's how I saw it.
Well, in that case, you've just managed to, as you swing your poleaxe, you've fucking yeeted it down into the atrium.
Okay, fair enough.
And hang on a second. Let's You've clobbered a poor kobold straight into his work desk.
Oh, well, there's always casualties in war, unfortunately. Okay.
The gentleman fighting you, let me find my thing, takes another swing with his sword.
Go.
He's really going for it, but he's just not. It's not working, unfortunately.
Well,
the other fella tries to stand and finally manages to kick enough kobolds off him that he can stand up. And dusting himself off, kicking off the kobold that's on his lap, he begins advancing on you. Dalton, your turn is nigh.
All right. Well, I think it's time I stepped up my levels here. So I'm going to use Thunderous Smite in my next attack. I'm also switching over to my longsword.
Okay. So you draw your longsword.
Yeah.
And hit a bitch.
Yeah, and basically I know my longsword stats better than my other ones because they're the ones from the app, so I can actually just this is what the app's telling me is right, so I can chill. So longsword is that. According to this app. Now. And then, because that's obviously going to be a hit, so my damage attack also has 2d6 on it as well. Which I feel like I've just been very overpowered right now on this one particular thing. So damage is 1d8 plus 2. Oh fuck! I didn't hashtag 1d8 plus 2 and 2d6. But 6 or 8? 2d6. And the 2d6 is thunder damage, whatever the hell that is.
So you immediately call forth the power of Thor, and through your sword rather than a hammer, and slap a cultist square in the chops.
Additionally, if the target is a creature, it must succeed on a strength saving throw or be pushed 10 feet away from you and knocked prone.
I mean,
if it's alive.
as you hit him with this mighty thunderclap, you launch a ragged corpse of bone and mush that's filling out a robe across the room. It flies down into the deluge of rampaging kobolds that are still chained to desks. They're rampaging in the 4 feet around each desk. And the ones that it lands closest to immediately jump on it and start tearing it to shreds, throwing pieces of
it's like a buffet.
That's what I'd say. Yeah, they're not eating it. They're just kind of gallivanting in it, covering themselves in its blood. It's kind of like an enjoyable kobold orgy of blood and freedom, I suppose. They're reveling in the fact that one of their captors has just been turned into paste.
Jeez. Well, that's quite the image I'm seeing there.
They almost seem to be rather feral if it weren't for the fact that they've been producing firearms for the last however many months.
Well, maybe I shouldn't unlock them. That's just gonna go fucking feral on my ass. Maybe I'll try and talk to one first before before I unchain them. Is what's happening to the other guy?
It is his turn. Yes, sorry, my brain went numb for a second there, describing the revelry that is going on near you.
It did sound like you were enjoying it slightly too much. You got distracted.
Maybe I was. The other fella, like having witnessed his good buddy, his Super Smash Bro, get smashed, immediately decides to piece the fuck out. He drops his weapon, turns around, and like running around the gallery rather than down into the kobolds, just fucking makes a dash for it. He's trying to find a way out. There's a couple of other little tunnels away into the back areas of the caverns that you haven't yet explored in the 4 months you've been there.
Do I have an opportunity to switch back to my cannon and shoot him in the back? He runs.
Well, it is already loaded, and you threw it down into the press of kobolds, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah, shit. Has one of them picked up and is about to shoot him with it conveniently?
Yes. Yes, they are.
Excellent. I like it when a plan comes together.
So the wee little kobold picks up the rifle. The rifle. Picks up the war pole. It is clearly far too big for him.
Maybe two of them help each other fire it, I imagine.
There are a multitude of differently sized kobolds down there. You can see that there's like rather tall, beefy ones that are working at one end and rather smaller ones at the other. It happens to be that one of the small ones has picked up the rifle. Again, I keep trying to say rifle. The war pole that's landed next to him, and it's a bit too large for him, a bit too heavy. But he tries it out anyway, and even with the negative modifier, that could have been a natural 20. It was so close. The ball launches out and hits the retreating guard squarely in the back. Let me find the rules for this thing again. +2. Okay. And it clips him through the knee. And when I say through the knee, I mean it severs the bottom of his leg. He collapses, screaming in pain. He's well and truly out of the fight. Starts like dragging himself down down towards the end of the cavern that he was in.
Excellent. Wait, so he's still moving?
Yeah, he's dragging himself away. But he's it's pretty obvious that he's going to bleed out relatively quickly.
But I don't know what's around the corner, so I need to. Fuck it. What are the kobolds doing? So we've got some over there, rubbing blood all over themselves. You've got two who are probably looking pretty smug. Or one that's probably looking pretty smug has just fired an excellent shot.
We came for blood.
Have they turned to me in a violent way or in a kind of what's going on kind of way?
Most of them are pretty in depth with what they're doing. They're enjoying themselves. A few of them are obviously trying to, now that they've seen their two captors get rocketed, they're trying to get themselves free.
Can I gauge the Doug, you left the thing. There you are. Can I gauge their wait, no, fuck it. If I shout out to them,
Yep.
I can probably try and stop. All of you.
They all look up at you as one.
We don't have much time. We need to. I need to get you all out of here ASAP, pronto, if you know what I mean. Does anyone? Do they have a fucking clue what I'm talking about? Do they speak?
They all kind of. A lot of them are sort of looking around, scratching their heads. They're chatting to each other in what to you is gibberish. Lots of like howly squeaks and chirrups, but nothing that you'd call words.
All right, I shout out, "I'm here to help," and I also say that in Elvish and Goblin in the vague hope that one of them knows what I'm talking about, because I know both of those languages too. Does that gauge your response at all?
Have a look, see. There doesn't appear to be any that have lightened up, but you kind of they're not exactly. They don't appear to be aggressively chirping at you anymore. They're kind of like it looks like a lot of them are sort of questioning each other, asking, what do you think about this guy? Does he look like a Jeb?
Okay, I go. So how are they chained? Are they chained like I know they're chained all together in a row, but is there like at the end of each row is there like a main like lock that I can smash and?
Think work gang, like original 1950s work gang, chain round one ankle.
Yeah.
They are filtered. There's a singular lock at the top end.
Right.
Like that holds the whole chain towards to the workstation area.
Yeah.
But then each kobold is also manacled directly to the table. The chain sort of comes down towards, like, if rather than it's how to describe it really easily. The chain goes to their ankle, then through a loop on the table leg, then onto the next one, loop through onto the next one, so on and so forth.
So it's looped but not locked. So if you broke their
they're
ankle,
not directly locked to the table. If you broke the first lock, they'd all be able to pull the chains out.
Right. In that case, I try and gesture my way through to one of those first locks, keeping, trying to keep the tensions low. Everybody, I don't want to kick off. I'm like, I'm here to help. And then I smash. I get my mace out and I smash at the lock, I guess.
Okay. Oh, apparently Rolls has decided to kill itself again.
Well, I rolled.
And I'm back.
I rolled a d20, and I got
You did?
a 20.
A 20. Excellent. So you pretty handily smash one of the locks. Obviously, as I said, each row has a lock. There are 4 rows that you've spotted so far. Almost immediately, like the kobold at the other end starts pulling the chain towards himself, and as it comes along, it starts to unbuckle from each of the kobolds along the line.
All right, I shout and point up the little ramp towards the exit. Go!
I mean, you don't have to tell them. They're already They're already running. The moment that lock was broken, they started sprinting towards the exit.
And then I shout after them, if you see a weird skeleton wearing a mask, leave him alone. That's what I shout as well. They're
gone. However, a few kobolds have stayed behind as you've been breaking the locks. One of them sort of has been calling to a couple of the others, and they're heading down one of the lower ramps towards a dark cave in the otherwise relatively well lit area.
Shit. Well, we should probably check in on old Nagash up top.
Yeah, enjoying himself in the.
Can we just assume
jungle?
That I've broken the majority of the locks and the majority of them are funneling up to the surface? and then only a few are staying behind with me or
Yeah,
doing their
that
own
is
thing.
that is.
Yeah.
So I can see movement in the cave entrance.
Yes. Yeah. If you in fact, before you start, roll me a perception check, would you, Doug?
No.
Oh, fuck you then. You can see nothing. You are blind.
Hang on. 1d20 plus 2. That's 30.
Two D30 plus 3. That's...
Good roll.
That's
Good roll one.
close
With your-
enough. Ah.
1d20 equals 2. You're real good at this.
Dice code error. Oh, Christ. Hey,
8.
He doesn't see much.
8. Okay. Essentially, you hear the patter of feet before you see them. There are lots of kobolds coming out that doorway. Although you don't know that they're kobolds before they arrive. Obviously, you're not used to hearing feet.
I prepare the cannon.
Excellent.
Okay. So, as you've already done it once, you kind of understand how it goes. So, sleight of hand test for me, Doug.
Okay. 4.
You begin loading the cannon and manage to drop the ball on your foot.
Ugh.
And as you're busy recovering, like hopping around, crying out as you're in pain, as I don't know, I suppose it would just break some bones, wouldn't it? Rather than
Well, they'd cry out for breaking some bones, surely.
that's the point. What would happen if you broke bone on a skeleton? Like, would it just like float around near the break, or is that just like bones missing now?
Just to
I don't know.
pick him up and bandage
bum,
himself later.
But anyway, you're jumping around, crying like fuck because oh god, that hurt. Oh god, and more and more kobolds appear to be streaming towards the exit. What would you like to do? You can attempt to reload again if you fancy.
No. I'm gonna walk towards the cave.
Okay. You begin walking towards the cave. Obviously, the kobolds see you coming. Most of them just sort of see a massive walking skeleton and are like, "Yeah, no, fuck this, I'm out," and just sprint into the jungle. Full on sprinting. There would be no catching these guys. Others, slightly larger ones, are considering. Like you can see they're kind of like, is this something that I could fuck with? Probably not.
And they remember that Dalton's last words were, if you see a weird-looking skeleton with a mask on, leave it alone.
I mean, we are talking, a mass of slaves that have been malnourished and mistreated for the last couple of months.
If they're malnourished, then they're not going to
Possibly
waste
years,
their
you don't
time on
know.
a skeleton, are they? Because they're not going to get any meat.
No. Although they have been, as they run past the a massive pile of ash, they're like, this smells pretty good. And again, most of them pretty much just fucking book it to the jungle. A few of them look to be thinking about it, but continue on anyway.
I give them a threatening glance to make sure they,
Would you give me an intimidation roll, please, Doug?
No.
Fine, they laugh at you.
Intimidation. Okay. Nine.
Well, as they're running past, a few of them kind of like, kind of make spooky. There's a skeleton. Oh, and it's October. Oh god. Others in the group just kind of like roll their eyes at the attempted intimidation roll. Attempted method of intimidation, and just continue booking it. Eventually, the steady stream of kobolds starts to slow, and then finally, the last little one, a tiny little runty one, runs out, does a little hop, classic cartoon style, and is gone.
Well,
I venture into the cave.
hey.
To meet the boss.
Excellent. And whilst this is all happening, 2 seconds. Yeah, one of the kobolds stumbles across Brother Malk and eats him.
Ah. No, he's disguised really well as a rock. No one's gonna find it.
Standing real still.
Like, don't eat that, John. It's a statue. And the kobold's like, why would my
But
name
it
be
smells
John?
like food.
You just haven't eaten in so long, you don't know what rocks are anymore.
We've literally been encased in rock for the last 6 months.
Surely it's the only thing we should recognize.
You fucking idiot, Dave. Shut up, John, you prat. Don't make me shove my kobold fist up your kobold bum. But that's what you always do every night.
Oh, for God's sake.
Shh.
Anyway, inevitably that's the way you took that one. So fair enough.
Yep. Inevitably. Right.
Does Nagash meet up with me as I follow the other remaining kobolds into the darkness?
You continue on down into the. Sorry, Nagash is meandering down the cave system. As he passes, there's a lot of magical damage. You can feel the ambient, there's just a massive amount of ambient magic. It feels like walking into a place that was very recently on fire, if that fire happened to be made of magic. It's kind of, well, essentially it feels real hot as you walk down. I can't really put that into better words for magic, as I have never encountered a magic aura. But yes, obviously trudging through piles of ash and lots of ceiling that appears to be on the floor. Continuing on down, you get down to the atrium where Dalton is stood, more or less at the other end of it now, having freed the slaves. And
I shout up to him, where the bloody hell have you been?
In the jungle.
The mighty jungle.
The lion sleeps tonight. Ooh, away.
Owen boy. Boy. Owen
yeah.
boy. Owen boy. Owen boy. Owen boy. Owen boy. Owen.
rocks fall, everyone dies.
Well, stop dropping your cans of Coke or whatever you're doing over there to Gash. And
This is not the fucking microphone again.
there's something over here I think we need to check out.
Aye, check it out.
Right, so I get a torch out, I light it, and I head down or into the next room, whatever it was, where those few kobolds went. I want to know what in the dickens is going on. And
You're able to post links in Twitch now.
no, like my Twitch.
No? Oh, man.
No. What are you trying to post?
I was just going to post a picture of a kobold, but
Oh, nah.
whatevs.
Google. Use a Google.
I'm on like the D&D wiki with kobolds. And it's really weird going from first edition to fifth, because like first edition's like, oh yeah, it's a little dragon person. Second edition's a fucking goblin with horns. And then it goes to like third edition or fifth edition where it's like a dragon, like essentially a dragon person, but smaller. But that's, by the by. Sorry, so what were you guys saying? I completely lost
Right.
all train of thought. Looking at kobolds.
I've lit a torch and I'm going into the dark room where a few of those kobolds went.
Okay. So as you travel down the hallway, obviously it's pitch black apart from the small area around you and the glow of the light there. And as you progress further, you start to pick up a scent. It is not a particularly nice scent.
Oh god, it's gonna be a mass grave or something, isn't it?
Well, it smells sort of wet, somewhere between like wet dog and stagnant water.
Oh, that's just Nagash.
But also, yeah, it's possibly worse than that as well. There is some pretty disgusting tangs in that smell. Things that make your nose hair tingle. And as you progress deeper, I'd like you both to roll perception for me.
Okie dokie.
I make you guys roll a lot of perception checks.
You sure do. 16 for me. I have no additions.
I don't know why I make you do it. You should be the one saying, I'd like to roll perception to see if I hear things.
Well, you hadn't given me a chance. I'd like to roll perception to see if I hear things. 16.
Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, as you progress down the hallway, you start hearing like muffled moans, and other just kind of general like pained noises, sounds that do not sound particularly great.
Okay, so it might not be a mass grave, but it's probably, well, a place where they leave everyone to die, I'd imagine. Nagash, could you brighten my torch for me, please?
Yes.
Probably should have done that before perception.
I do that.
Okay.
And I do, and I look again.
So as you get to the you basically you realize as the torch brightens that you're at the entrance to a massive room. Like it's at least double the size of the atrium above. Seems a lot more naturally made than the first one. It's not like been specially dug out. So it appears to be that the cave system had originally been here, and then the humans that have been using it sort of dug out to make rooms what they required. As the light like hits the back wall, you see essentially like the kobold depiction of hell. In one corner there is a absolutely monumental pile of corpses, ranging from bones all the way up to like fresh corpses. Between them, there's no guards to spot anymore. They have all been taken. In fact, there are a few guards' corpses that appear to have been clawed to death.
Standard.
Yeah, but there's amongst the big pile, you can see a couple of moving moving bodies. And on the far side is a large cave with literally hundreds of kobolds, all packed together. They're packed so tightly that they're standing. And as you look upon it, a few of them appear to be dead and stood. And a few of them are essentially skeletalized nearby the other kobolds' mouths. Things appear to be so bad, they are literally eating each other to stay alive.
So things could be worse, is what you're saying.
Could be worse, yeah. They could just all be dead.
Mm.
We are literally talking kobold Auschwitz right now.
Okay, you said it. Great. Thanks for that.
It's all right.
Well,
we've only got 2 watchers.
Nagash dives in.
Leo's German. Don't say that.
Who's German?
Leo.
I mean,
Oh,
he didn't do it.
Anyway, shut up. Right. Okay. So instinctively, what? So sorry, are these guys in cages or are they just surely?
So there's this massive pile of like assorted levels of decompositioned corpses, with a couple that appear to be not quite dead, but are also very much not going to make it. And then a cage that should essentially be all. Well, you'd think a cage that could reasonably support like maybe 50 to 60 kobolds, with enough room for them to move around, and like triple the number that's in there, quadruple the number that's in there. We're talking packed so tight that they have to stand; they cannot sit down.
Kobold
In fact,
sardines.
think of it as what was it? Hang on, I'll look it up. Continue on whilst I look up this.
Okay.
This is a thing that happened in history that isn't what I've already referenced.
Well, okay. Well, I should. I feel like I'm going to let them out, even though they're clearly not going to survive. Or most of them aren't. So, but wait, where are the kobolds who came down? Where are they? What are they doing?
They're like trying to essentially trying to break open the
so I can go help them.
the cage to help friends out.
Right. So
Yeah.
I wander over and I kind of gesture them out of the way and I get my mate. Is it a similar lock as before? Or do you want me to investigate?
More or less.
So okay, well I'll do my classic. I'll just hit it with a hammer or my mace and hope for the best. Is that +4, 18 total.
Okay. So again, you smash the lock, and like even before you can step back, just bodies start falling out of this cage, just from the pressure alone. It's like all you can do just to jump back before they collapse on top of you.
Well, hopefully these kobolds will appreciate what I'm doing for them.
Those that are able to move and able to like actively engage in essentially breathing are all trying to like get as quick a breath as possible before like dragging themselves towards the top. The group of kobolds that have run down, there's about 15 of them down there with you that had come down from above. They are like picking up a fair few of them, or picking up as many as they can between them and moving them up towards the top.
Good old group here, helping each other out.
Mm-hmm. Amongst the kobolds, you can. I mentioned it earlier. There's quite a lot of dimorphism. There's different like shapes and sizes. You can see quite a few there's quite a few that are quite large for what the animal is. They're relatively burly. There's other ones that are quite significantly smaller, leaner. there's a group. Each of the group that came down to help are more commonly helping others of the same like shape and size as their own.
Yeah.
And right at the back, at the back of the cage, you see a little group of 4 that almost seem to have had like a space around them that are pure black with little orange stripes along their spines.
Oh, do I recognize their markings? Oh,
It's not one you've ever seen before.
I won't roll for that. So just to clarify, the others are kind of leaving them alone.
Yes.
Well, I shall do the same.
Okey-dokey.
For a moment while I consider them. Was it just the one cage that I've had to open? Or...
Yes, it's literally just one titanically large cage.
Okay, cool. Fine. Nagash, any ideas?
So black with orange. Is that what you just said?
Yes.
Not that I know how that helps me at all. Do I speak kobold?
I don't know. It's your character. You tell me.
I feel like I was talking to them before.
You definitely spoke to
I
them
don't think
before.
you've met a black and orange one. They might. I think they were speaking your language.
Yeah.
Unless it was Draconic.
I don't think I speak Draconic.
Well,
Hmm.
what are they doing? Are they just standing there, or are they trying to make a move?
Like they're kind of waiting until the others move away. They don't appear to be as like squashed as the rest. It almost appears like there's always been a gap around them, even though like all the others have been very compressed.
Yeah.
There's a lot more. There's almost like a wall of corpses around them as well. As more of a kobold's clear space, you see there's like almost like a little wall of corpses around them.
What do the corpses look like? For example, if these guys are poisonous to the touch, do they have like a rash or any obvious, or even bite marks or anything like that? Are they violent?
You can't see it, unfortunately, or you can't. There's nothing that you'd recognize about kobold anatomy that leads you to be able to make conclusions like that. Unfortunately,
right. Well, I guess I'll try what I did earlier, which is basically I'll just shout out to everybody, those included, saying, "Does anybody speak the common tongue?" I don't know why I said the common. Does anyone speak common? Anybody?
I mean, the common tongue would make sense.
Yeah.
One of the little kobolds, one of the smaller ones, like you can see his ears perk up. He sort of turns to look at you, but another one sort of just not aggressively, just kind of puts an arm around him and keeps him down, possibly to try and almost protect him, I suppose.
Damn it. Okay. Well, did I see that?
Yes.
I definitely saw it. Okay. I'm gonna calmly and casually walk over to him. Where he is. Hey there. You speak common? I hope.
Yeah.
Can I have a word? Can we speak?
The little kobold kind of finally shrugs himself out of the larger kobold's grasp. I do speak common.
Oh fuck!
Fuck off! You make a kobold noise, you fuckers.
God, it's Gollum. Ah, Gollum. Good to see you.
It could be if it answered.
Can I ask you a few questions? I'm the world's greatest detective, obviously. I've got my notepad out.
Clearly.
I'm Sherlock Holmes. I've got my Deerstalker hat on. How long have you been down here?
Sorry.
That's not a number.
Shit, what was I going to say?
We've been down here for months. They never let us see the sun.
That's probably our fault because we took 2 months off this campaign.
Yeah.
Who put you here? Don't just say the humans, for Christ's sake. Give me some information.
Never.
They come in the night and take us
Where did they take you from?
home.
Where's home?
I don't know from here.
Fair enough. Okay, I turn to point at the other guys subtly so they don't get offended. Who are they?
Which other guys are you
Oh, the orange and
pointing
black,
at?
black and orange guys. The ones everyone's avoiding.
This is where I realise I haven't given them a name.
These are the
They are
Doobly-Fooblies.
Yeah, these are the takes username from Imager post that we're currently reading. Flanful.
What? Flanful?
They are
other tribe.
That's all you're getting for now.
Okay. Fair enough. What will you do now you're free?
Go home.
Fair enough. Well,
Not very helpful, this Gollum.
I mean, he has just been released from captivity after months of being like
yeah.
starved,
It's
beaten, and
All right.
I'm pretty sure the only thing he really cares about is eating something that isn't other kobolds.
I point one more time towards the what did you call them again?
I literally haven't. They're just
Okay.
another tribe
I
at the
point
minute.
and say, are they dangerous?
Don't touch.
Okay.
That's all he says.
Thank you. And then I say Godspeed and nod my head courteously towards him.
Yeah, the other kobold that had been like waiting patiently for his friend nearby sprints off with his little comrade.
I shout,
Slowly,
"Hey, kid!"
it raises it. It turns to look at you.
I throw him a ration pack out my backpack.
And it hits
And
him right. Oh my god! I rolled a natural one. It hits him squarely in the chops, and he passes out. Immediately dies, killed by the very food that was going to save him. It's he sort of catches it, fumbles with it, and starts breaking bits off and passing them off to some
I
of
would
the other kobolds
I
around
would have
him.
winked at him, but I haven't got any eyelids left.
You just kind of nod your head a little bit to the side,
All right.
raise an ocular lobe.
Nagash, as you have no skin, and thus I suggest maybe slightly more immune than me, to the weird, poisonous kobolds. Do you want to go over chit chat? How do they get trapped if they're poisonous to the touch? How do
I
they-
mean, you don't exactly know how they've been captured.
Big old net. Again,
I stride over to them.
overly confident. They are intimidated and lash out.
They immediately draw swords. Where
I,
did they find these swords?
I gesture at them with my staff. Who are you?
They
I mean, that's not how I sound. But it'll do. Just imagine I'm doing my voice.
Do your voice, you lazy shit.
Who are you?
They kind of just like look up at you, not really understanding what you're saying, and also kind of cowering from the large skeleton that has just walked up to them, and no one else is clearly terrified. Everyone else is clearly terrified of you as well. Like, I'm just gonna.
I jab one of them in the chest and say, "Eh?"
Oh, for God's sake!
Upon jabbing them in the chest, they all immediately just kind of like dart around you and fucking skitter away.
Ah.
I slowly, sarcastically applaud from a distance. Well done.
Well, I
Nagash.
didn't hear.
Another strike in your name, you idiot.
Well, I didn't hear you suggested anything.
You just went up to them and poked them. That was your grand scheme.
You've sold my kobold.
Right. Okay. Well, I feel like we've just we've disturbed the weapons shit going on here quite successfully.
I'd say it was a great victory.
I suppose really all we need, okay, first of all, are there any ammunition bits we can take to stock up our supplies? Because I would like to take the cannon that's upstairs. Nagash updates.
Well, you can find out next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Okay, we can. Indeed. We'll call it there, as it is 10 o'clock, and that's what we always do. So,
Yeah, and I am tired.
Me too.
No.
I've been almost asleep the whole time.
No.
We've been able to tell.
Are you sure? You didn't give that away at all. All right, cool. There we go. There's another fantastic, in quotation marks, sarcastically, episode of How Not to Adventure. I've been Rob. Chris has been our DM. Doug has been asleep. Where is Brother Malk, though? We will never know unless he shows up next time.
Unless he shows up next week.
Thanks for listening, everyone who did. Really appreciate it. And we'll see you later. So, bye.